Hi, are you looking to get a new truck but you're so confused and you don't know what to do? Do you want the TRD Sport or do you want the TRD Offroad? You don't know, do you? Well, thankfully I'm here to help you out with that question. That was really awkward. I'm so sorry. What is up? It's your boy Ang here, bringing to you guys a brand new freaking video, man. So look, listen, I love these trucks. They're awesome. A lot of people don't know what to buy, whether they want the TRD Offroad or the TRD Sport. It really comes down to preference, but I'm gonna help you today figure out which one has features that you find more beneficial for you and you would like a lot more. A lot of the time I catch myself saying, people always ask, people always this, that, and the third, looking at me for knowledge. This never happens. You know, some people ask me, I'm sure, you know, some people think about asking me, but they don't because they're shy, whatever it may be. Okay, well, I went with the TRD Sport. I love it. I like everything about it, but there is the pros and cons. I'll go ahead and break down what the TRD Sport comes with and what the TRD Offroad comes with in their own two different little comparisons. Now, of course, this would be way better to be recording outside next to the TRD Pro, TRD Sport and the TRD Offroad, but of course, quarantine. I went with the TRD Sport. I just felt like it was a better fit for me. The TRD Offroad is definitely like the go-to if you like going off-road. And this was very simple for me when the salesman was like, are you gonna take it off-road? I said no. And he like really just cut it off there. He's like, all right, then don't get it. Not to say the TRD Sport isn't off-road capable. That's like the biggest thing that a lot of people always like, oh, I got a Sport, can I take it off-road? Yes, there are some minor setbacks, but most of the people who get a Sport in the first place to go off-road aren't gonna need an off-road's capability, if that makes any sense. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But first, we're going to get into why I went with the Sport, and hopefully this may convey you and persuade you into the Sport realm. So I think about it this way. TRD Sport is a lot classier, nicer, off of the factory floor. TRD Offroad is a lot more rugged, meaner looking, and a little bit more aggressive. So it depends on you. Do you like to look nice in a truck, or do you like looking like, you know, you might go off of the side of the cliff with your truck and live through the whole thing like a G? You know, I just really like the 2020 rims on the TRD. I really like the rims on the Tacoma TRD. I really like the rims on the new Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport. Well, they're not too common. Now they're starting to get a little bit more common, which I'm not a fan of. But the rims, they definitely stand out a lot better than the TRD Offroad. But again, that's preference for me. I like the rims a lot better on the Sport than I did on the Offroad. Number two, for me, I like one color on my truck. I don't like quicksand and then black and then chrome and then orange. I put the two side by side. It was a cement gray TRD Offroad. It had black fender flares, and I get it. I mean, it's to go off-road. If that'll be the first point of contact when hitting branches and whatnot, but in the long run your car's still gonna get scratched, so I didn't see the point of them. And just having those color matched off of the factory floor was something kind of like a necessity for me. That's where it comes down to. Do you like the classier look or the more rugged look? Again, I much rather all color matched. It looks a lot cleaner. And then cosmetically for me, again, this is all cosmetic, but one of the bigger cosmetic features was just the Sport package. Okay, so the rims obviously, but whatever, I'm talking about the sticker. Just the sticker alone, for me, I don't know why I always had this like weird feeling whenever I saw a Tacoma beefed up, looking sweet, and it had the TRD Sport package. It just made it look that much cooler for me. Then you go into the front of the truck and you see that massive hood scoop. Super dope. After everything is done, how I want to customize my truck, bigger wheels, lifted, and having that hood scoop on there will really make it look like the ultimate mall crawler. Now we're going to get into why the TRD Offroad will absolutely destroy the TRD Sport. Listen, if you are even thinking about going off-road, do yourself the favor and buy the Offroad. Again, if you think about, if you're thinking about putting your right front tire onto the dirt, just do it. Save yourself the time and the regret. When you step into the truck realm, unless you're like a super satisfied person, you're gonna regret not getting the TRD Offroad, because more than likely all your homies are gonna have locking differentials because they are really into off-roading. You're gonna want to have all the gadgets and all the whatnot, just because that's how it is in the truck world. Once you have 32-inch tires, you're gonna want 33s, and then once you have 33s, you're gonna want 34s, and once you want 34s, you're gonna want 89s. Now I'm gonna get into why the TRD Offroad has its benefits for some people. TRD Offroad and what it brings is something special for a poor man who wants to off-road. Again, TRD Offroad is not cheap at all, but compared to some other people's rigs, it's definitely cheap. Now, what I'm speaking of is it comes with the skid plate from the factory. Now, is it a good skid plate? I beg to differ. It's not made out of the best material, but it's definitely what a poor man would get on his off-roading rig, and it does hold up. I've seen some, durability tests on it, and it's pretty good. Crawl control is a setting. It's up on the top where the sunroof, a little bit in front of the sunroof, to dial. You can turn it and it'll be like a multi-terrain select. It'll drive for you and it'll get the most traction on whichever tire it needs, and it really is like a magnificent tool. But again, do you need it? No. You're probably gonna run the grass over on your lawn every now and then. You don't need multi-select terrain or whatever, multi-terrain select ever. I promise you. That is something the off-road comes with that the sport doesn't, and that may be a deal breaker for you. Maybe you do need that multi-terrain select. The third thing that I feel like is the biggest groundbreaker between the TRD Offroad and the TRD Sport is a locking differential. That is the solo thing that will make one person buy the off-road versus the sport. It locks up your rear diff and it distributes an equal amount of power to both wheels, and it doesn't, loosen up, whatever. You want to go off-road, you want to have that rear locking diff just in case. A lot of people do off-roading, and as long as you're knowledgeable and you know what you're doing, and if you have a spotter, you'll be more than perfect and ready to go. My one thing that allowed me to get the sport and not hold myself too much to getting that off-road just for that rear locking diff. So for me, it was rims, color matched, and the stickers, right? And the hood scoop. We'll just put down the third one, right? But then there was just rear locking diff on the other one. So it was like 4 versus 1, and I just couldn't get my mind to it. And then I found out about the LSD, limited slip differential. It is amazing. Look it up, do your research. I'm gonna make videos on it later. It is so awesome what it does. I don't even know how to explain it. It brakes and drives on the other side to grab as much traction as it can. It's super awesome. Works almost like a locking differential, but not as good, obviously. But definitely, it's like get me out of jail free card. So I hope I did help you guys decide whether you want the TRD Sport or the TRD Offroad. Both are amazing trucks. Let me know down below what you end up getting. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below. I'm looking to help you out. It's been your boy, I'm Like an Audi. I'll see you tomorrow. Cinco de Mayo. It's been your boy, I'm Like an Audi. I'll see you tomorrow. Cinco de Mayo. Peace.